35 miles per hour, maybe a gust or two later on tonight around 40 miles per hour. But then it looks like our higher elevations could see some wind gusts upwards of around 40 to 45 miles per hour, maybe a gust way up top, especially near 50 miles per hour. And of course, while we have seen what the rains and the wind can do across the lower elevations, of course, on the ground, we also know that the winds can have some impact on what's going on above the ground as well. And right now we're going to go to Ricky Matthews, meteorologist Ricky Matthews in Elizabethton, to talk about how the wind can affect air travel. Ricky.
Hey, good evening, guys, from the Elizabethton Airport, where we're watching weather conditions out here. They've been pretty nice through the afternoon, a little bit of light rain, a little bit of light wind, but we expect them to change tonight. And in other spots across the southeast, they've been pretty gusty this afternoon, those winds and the rain. And when you talk about aviation, there's a couple things that really impact the flights. One of the things is, of course, wind. The other thing, rain, storms. The third thing is the visibility. Now, let's talk about wind for a minute. Wind is measured at airports due with the ASOS system and wind socks. And across the southeast today, with those winds being pretty gusty, we've seen a decent amount of flight delays, especially at the Tri-Cities Airport. Our two major hubs of the Tri-Cities Airport are Charlotte and Atlanta, with American Airlines and Delta Airlines. So when we look at those two airports, they haven't had a ton of delays today, but that residual effect has kind of transferred over to the Tri-Cities Airport. That's why we're seeing a lot of cancellations tonight. So if you have a flight out of the Tri-Cities, you may want to check that website before you head to the airport, because there's a decent chance it's been canceled. Now, let's talk about the airport out here in Elizabethton. Let's look across the field, and you're going to notice a windsock on top of one of the hangars here. The airport runway here runs from northeast to southwest, and with that positioning, you sometimes have to change how you approach an airfield, because when you're landing, there's something known as a crosswind. So imagine a wind pushing across that runway. If it's gusty, that's why a lot of flights end up having to be canceled, because the airplane only has a maximum demonstrated crosswind. When I go flying, I have to think about that before I go up, because if there's too much wind, you will not be able to take off and land safely. And for example, with a 737 aircraft, the potential with the winds over 30 knots is there for that flight to be dangerous. So that's one of the reasons, if you're flying today, maybe you have friends or family that are flying, your flight may have been a little bit delayed or canceled across the area. Now, we'll continue to monitor conditions out here through the afternoon and evening. You see the mountains behind me? What's happening is the winds are strongest on the other side of the mountain. On this side, the Tennessee side, a lot of our mountain ranges, they're a little bit weaker thanks to some of that downsloping wind, dries it out a little bit. But we do expect those winds to become a little bit gustier this evening out across Elizabethton, across those higher elevations, and across the entire region, with some gusts potentially up to 60 miles per hour in the mountains as we go a little bit later on today. So we'll continue to monitor conditions. For now, I'm meteorologist Ricky Matthews reporting at the Elizabethton Airport.
All right, Ricky, thank you very much.
All right, there are several people who have come here to our region from Florida seeking safety from Hurricane Irma.
News 5's Jessica Griffith talking to